BMW Australia is proud to present the 1991 BMW Australian Derby.
Welcome to Perth, Western Australia, the city of sport. This sun-soaked paradise, which boasts a reputation not only for its beauty, but for excellence in the world of sport. Whether it be golf, hockey, cricket, or the winter passions, WA has a record based on achievement. The West Coast Eagles and the Perth Wildcats do the state proud in their pursuits. And over the Christmas-New Year break, the focus is on this great city as it hosts world-class tennis and golf. And standing the test of time, the WA Summer Racing Carnival. For the 20th year, Perth presents the Australian Derby. And it's a very special welcome to viewers around the country on the 10 network to Ascot in Perth for the 1991 BMW Australian Derby. Well, it's a cloudy afternoon and temperature in the low 20s. Well, I'm Peter Ensel, and with me is former champion jockey John Miller and top Melbourne race caller Brian Martin. First of all, Brian, welcome back to Perth.
Thank you very much, Peter. It's great to be in Perth. It's such a beautiful temperature and a track that's going to run very well too.
Well, John, you've ridden 6 Australian Derby winners. What does it take to win this great race?
First of all, you've got to have the first choice of the best horse in the race, and you've got to know how to ride around Ascot.
Well, a field of 14 then to contest the 1991 Australian Derby over 2,400 metres. This is a Group 1 race and prize money $200,000, and today is the 20th running of this great race. Number 1 in the field is Old Roll, trained by Albie Beckett, will be ridden by Jason Oliver. Jason's the older brother to Melbourne champion rider Damien Oliver. And Brian, Old Roll won at weight per age over 1,800 metres, and at his last start ran second to the favourite this afternoon, Heroicity.
Yes, well, he's a pretty smart sort of colt, this one, Peter. He ran second to Heroicity, but he does meet Heroicity 2 kilos better for that meeting here. And that was on the 14th of December. He's a horse that it might be the one that sits off the pace if these two greys sort of start tactical riding. Old Roll might be the strong horse at the finish of the race. He's a high stake earner. One tried the 2,400. He looked pretty good too.
On to number 2 then, Heroicity, trained by Trevor Andrews, who won this race last year with Natasha. Will be ridden by the state's best jockey, Mark Sestich. And John, without question, his form has been impeccable. He's the one to beat.
He's the class horse of the race, Peter. I'm sure with his turn of foot and the way he handles the track, in my mind, he's a good thing.
Number 3 is Laudanum. Stan Bates, the trainer, Peter Barnett, the rider. He ran second on Hard Act in this race in 1989. A very consistent type. He ran 4th in the Winfield, and the last start 4th behind Heroicity. On to number 4 then, Harper Valley from Sydney, trained by John Morrish. He'll be ridden by Danny Miller. He's a Sydney horse, Brian, who won twice before coming to Perth, but he hasn't fired over here.
No, he's got to find 17 lengths to beat Heroicity, and it's a big ask really to see this horse win.
On to number 5, Beldivo, Alan Matthews and Troy Jackman combining here. He's a nice type of stayer, John.
Yes, but I would say that the other two would probably outclass him a bit, but he'll be there in the first 3 or 4.
Onto the lesser lights then. Number 6 is Border Shine. John Hodgson and Paul Harvey, the combination. Form good in lesser races, but difficult to see it playing a part here. On to number 7, Shining Future, Diane George and Laurie Millington, the combination here. He's won twice from 11. Number 8 is Miles of Smiles, purchased for just $300. Well, wouldn't that be a big return if he was to win today? 9 is Slant Stream, the Websters combining here, Graham Webster Senior and Graham Webster Junior. On to number 10, Grenfell's Pago, Ross Price and David Noose, the combination. And let's go down to number 14 then, because the others have little hope. Number 14 is India's Dream, trained by Bart Cummings. He's won 4 Australian Derbies, Brian, and this horse did show some good form in the VRC Spring Carnival.
Well, there she is on screen now, Peter. India's Dream. She went to the front just after straightening up, of course, in the VRC Oaks. It took all the home stretch of Flemington for this outstanding filly, Richfield Lady, to beat her. The reports are this filly has improved 3 to 4 lengths. She might be the one to contest the favourite.
OK, well, Stephen King has the ride on India's Dream this afternoon. He had a great Melbourne Cup Carnival, and we spoke to Stephen earlier this afternoon.
But Let's Elope has burst away in the Foster's Melbourne Cup, belongs to the mare. Let's Elope bolts the cup in, wins by 3 lengths, and ridden by Stephen King, a jockey that has taken everything before him this spring. He's won the Caulfield Cup, the Turnbull Stakes, the Derby, the McKinnon Stakes, and now the biggest one of all, the Melbourne Cup.
Well, Stephen, a fantastic carnival, topped off with the Melbourne Cup, no doubt. Run us through it. What was it like?
Well, Tim, it was one of them experiences where you just comes in once in a lifetime, and I had a great carnival, and the Winter Melbourne Cup really just sort of topped it off, so it was a great year.
Earlier today, you spoke with former Perth jockey legend John Miller about the track. Very tricky circuit. How did you find it?
Well, it's a very tight track, and I just think that, I'm aware of the position on the track, so I don't find it much of a problem at all.
Good luck this afternoon in the Derby.
Thanks a lot, Tim.
The pin-up boy, as far as jockey goes, Stephen King. Let's take a break. We'll be back with more on Derby Day 1991.
Brooklyn Dodger fighting back, but Wonder Dancer just in front of Brooklyn Dodger. Word of Honour goes the third. Wonder Dancer wins the neck. Brooklyn Dodger second.
Back at Ascot, the runners now starting to make their mark with the 2,400-metre barrier for the running of the 1991 Australian Derby. Well, this afternoon sees the 20th running of the Australian Derby. Diana won the first way back in 1972. Here's a brief look then at the history of the Australian Derby.
Family of Man sprinted to the lead with 100 metres to go and the Australian Derby's over.
Family of Man, just one of many great gallopers to have won the Australian Derby in its 20-year history. Ever since the inauguration of the Derby in 1972, the best three-year-olds have conquered in the West. It was a race dominated by Eastern States trainers until Sanotape broke the drought for the locals in 1982. The late Ted Hickling and jockey Rod Kemp combined again to win with Importune in 1984.
But it's Importune for the Derby. Importune by 3 lengths over.
Star Joe and John Dre continued the run for the WA gallopers until the irrepressible TJ Smith and Mick Dittman combined to dominate the race in the late 80s.
It's 5 Australian Derbies and 34 Derbies to the legend Tom Smith.
And 1990, a brash young protege of TJ Smith collected the Derby with Natasha.
Natasha raced away and won the Derby.
Trevor Andrews is back again, this time with boom colt Heroicity.
We're sort of looking at an Eastern States campaign after the Derby if we're successful, but I think he's got a big future.
So Trevor Andrews then going for back-to-back Australian Derbies. He won the race last year with the filly Natasha, and this year he saddles up the favourite Heroicity, who at this stage is showing 90 cents on the WA tote. On the second line is the Bart Cummings filly India's Dream, $2.15, and number 1 Old Roll is showing $2.95. Let's check the bookmakers' prices in on the Derby of 1991, and it's to Tim Gossage and Frank Wright.
The punters have certainly rallied to the favourite Heroicity, Peter, in from 5 to 4 on to further in the red now, 6 to 4 on, Frank, and that's really the only horse they want downstairs.
Well, apart from early backing for India's Dream with one bookmaker who put up 7 to 1 because he wanted to lay it, Heroicity has tightened and the rest all out the gate, Tim. We have Old Roll, 3 to 1, Heroicity, 6 to 4 on and 4 to 7 on some boards, Laudanum out to 25s, Harper Valley 40s, Beldivo out to 25s, and, as I said, the money for India's Dream into 11 to 2.
India's Dream 11 to 2, but you like the odds on Heroicity?
He's had Derby stamped on him from day one. He's got the best jockey, the best trainer for the Australian Derby, taking into account JB Cummings, the visitor. I must give him his credit. But I thought Heroicity to win, Old Roll the danger.
Heroicity and Old Roll, the locals for Frank Wright. WA's, one of WA's anyway, best judges here. It's Heroicity 6 to 4 on, Peter, as the horses are behind the barrier.
Right, John, that's a very short quote about horse in the Derby, over 2,400 metres, 6 to 4 on.
Well, I think he deserves it because I think he's by far the best horse in the race. And I think the only way he'll be beaten is bad luck, Peter.
Well, John, the Greys don't have a very good record in this race. They haven't won the Australian Derby, and of the favourites, 7 of 19 have won the Derby. So what about Heroicity's chances this afternoon?
I think the hoodoo will be broken today. I think with any reasonable amount of luck, I think the horse will win. He looks trained. Well, there's 2 greys, is it? The second favourite, of course, is a grey. And with it, Bart Cummings is polished. I suppose you've always got to respect Bart. He makes Harry Houdini look second-rate when it comes to picking rabbits out of hats.
What's it about Barrier 1 over the 2,400 metre start? No horses won this race from Barrier 1. Why?
I think it's only the best barrier to draw in any race, whether it's from 1,000 metres to 3,200, is number 1.
Is the favourite there, number 2, Heroicity, in the all-red colours of Serenus Lustia. John, let's have a look at the track diagram then. 2,400 metres, race record on a horse that you rode in 1975, Denise's Joy. Tell us about how this race will be run and won.
Well, it's usually run the first 400 metres. They go very quickly. From the 400 to the 1,000, they usually slow down. and it's the tempo of the race and the way that it increases or decreases from the 1,000 metres that where everyone has to have their wits about them.
What's the most crucial part of the race, quickly, John?
I think the crucial part is between the 1,000 and the 800, and that's where the major decisions have to be made.
OK, just a few out then, and we'll shortly be underway in the Derby of 1991. Our commentator this afternoon is Brian Martin. Good afternoon, Brian.
Thank you, Peter. Runners getting ready here for the Derby, and they're just about ready to run. Last couple coming to the line now. Last few runners coming in. Coming forward now on screen there is Sursum Sooty at huge odds. And the favourite, of course, Herosity, drawn the coveted gate number 1. Now Herosity's gone in, they're set to run. Now Herosity is set, and they're just about ready. India's Dream in gate number 3. Old Roll out in gate number 6. Herosity about a 6-4 on chance for the Derby. Touted as one of the best in the West for the last 2 decades. It's had a tremendous lead-up campaign. The light flashing now. And they're ready to go in the BMW Australia Derby. They're racing in Herosity, bounded away down towards the inside with Beldivo slow to get going. India's Dream, the grey, and King has taken us straight to the front. India's Dream is going to lead out now from Herosity, is going to go back along the inside. And out wide on the track here, coming over quickly, the outsider, Sursum Sooty, is going up fast. Sursum Sooty is going to go to the front now. He's going to ease back on India's Dream, and Sursum Sooty is going to lead them out now from on the inside, Slant Stream. On the outside of it, Shining Future, 2 to India's Dream going out of the straight. They're followed by Border Shine. Herosity's going to tag up behind India's Dream over along the inside, and Beldivo starting to make some ground. Further back in the field then Old Roll, who's over along the inside. Eunice getting a fair way back, followed by Harper Valley. Well back in the field then came Count Sikorsky, who's got up along the inside now of Harper Valley, who drops out towards the tail of the field, and Grenville's Pago has gone back. At the 1,600 metre mark they race, and Sursum Sooty's put on plenty of speed out in front. It went out about 3 or 4 lengths in front. Sursum Sooty going to the back straight. Second placing now is Slant Stream when they turn into the back. 2 lengths further back then Shining Future, and they're followed further back on the outside, going forward now by Miles of Smiles. Over on the inside is India's Dream. Herosity a length and a half behind it from Beldivo. When they turn down the back, about 3 or 4 lengths further back. Old Roll is over along the inside. Miles of Smiles is outside it, 2 or 3 lengths further back in the field then. Came Eunice, who's over along the inside of Loudonham, and Harper Valley's a long way out of it, coming off the back straight, followed by Count Sikorsky. Well back was Grenville's Pago. At the 850 metre mark, they come down the side, and the leader Sursum Sooty about a length in front. Moving up, Shining Future on the outside. India's Dream is starting to angle up now. The grey filly, she goes up third. They're followed right behind her now by the favourite Herosity coming into the picture. Further back in the field then, pulled to the outside, Beldivo. Old Roll is getting away from the fence and starting to put in a big run. Coming off the back now, 650 metres to go on the outside. Shining Future has gone to the front. Beldivo tackling, and India's Dream is gone. India's Dream has dropped right out, and on the outside, Beldivo hit the lead, but now Herosity gets out. Herosity goes out after Beldivo when they turn for home. They're followed further back by Harper Valley and Old Roll in the middle. Herosity raced to the front now. The favourite took the lead in the Derby. It's Herosity getting away from Beldivo. Then Old Roll into the clear, running on pretty well, and further back in the field at the head of the others would have been Border Shine. Herosity out 3 lengths in front. On the outside, Old Roll trying to pick it back. They're followed further back late by Loudonham, but Herosity has got the Derby won, and Herosity wins by a length and 3/4 to Old Roll. Loudonham got up to run third, followed by Beldivo. Miles of Smiles further back in the field. They're followed to the outside by Count Sikorsky. Pulling up quickly, Harper Valley. Dropping out of it there was Shining Future. Behind those would have been Grenville's Pago, and well back in the field there came Shining Future, who knocked right up towards the tail. And with him is Slant Stream and Miles of Smiles after the BMW Australian Derby. The favourite has taken the race.
Well, you'll find the winner, number 2, Heroicity, has won the Derby of 1991. Had some problems about 800 metres from home, but Sestich didn't panic. He got the horse out in time, and the favourite has endured here and has taken out the Derby at 6-4 on. Number 2, Heroicity. For Mark Sestich, it makes it back-to-back Derby wins. For Trevor Andrews, the young trainer, just 29 years of age. You'll find second, number 1, Old Roll, gallant in defeat, but he found the sprinting ability of Heroicity a little bit too strong on the day. And back in third place, number 3, Laudanham.
I think the distance was Old Roll's trouble. He rode him a great race, but Mark did everything right. He got off the fence at the 800 metres. And in fact, he rode him beautifully.
A training triumph then for Trevor Andrews. He's made it back-to-back derbies. Mark Sestich has won his first Australian Derby. As we take this break then on Derby Day 1991, we'll be back with more in a moment. And welcome back everyone around the country, and Mark Sestich and Heroicity salute the crowd as they come back winners of the 1991 Australian Derby. Well, a proud trainer, 29-year-old Trevor Andrews. We've just lost Trevor, so we'll grab him in just a moment. But Mark Sestich coming back to scale, and now we're ready to talk to Trevor with Tim Gossage in the mounting yard.
Certainly have, Peter. He's very elated. Trevor Andrews, congratulations on your second Derby.
Thank you.
You're very excited. What about Natasha in this horse? Any different feeling?
Pretty much the same feeling on this sort of day.
Well, you took off the double last year, not quite this year, but must be a thrill.
Yeah, very happy.
What's the future for the horse?
Well, he'll go to the paddock straight after the weekend and have, a month to 5 weeks off, and we'll think about taking him to Sydney.
Yes, taking him to Sydney. And what race will you contest there, Trevor?
The AJC Derby is his main aim if he goes.
And Bart Cummings said this horse is good enough to win a Caulfield Cup. Do you agree?
Well, I think I'd like to be taking him there next year, not Bart.
And what's the dream now? 3 derbies on in?
Well, that's the way we're going to look, yeah.
Congratulations, Trevor.
Thank you.
So Trevor Andrews, just 29 years of age. He's a protege of TJ Smith, John, and you couldn't get a better education.
No, you certainly couldn't. TJ's won about 4 of these and 35 all up, so you couldn't have a better mentor than him.
And what about Mark Sestich? He's ridden every big race winner in the state except this race. He's won a Perth Cup, a Karrakatta Plate, and also won WA Derbies on Rare Flyer and Balili. And it's a great moment for Mark Sestich at 31 years, without question. The leading jockey in WA, 3 times he's been WA's premier jockey, and he rode the horse very coolly today.
He rode it as a favourite should be ridden. He rode it beautifully. He got off the fence at the right time, and he just did everything right, so he deserved to win.
Well, Mark's just stepped off the scales, and Tim's ready to talk with Mark Sestich.
Fantastic performance. You know, he went into the race an odds-on favourite and he won like that, didn't he, Mark?
Yes, that's right, mate. He did. He travelling very well in running the whole way. The only trouble I did run into in running was I had a horse outside in Belvivo, and he was tended to be laying on top of him quite a bit and running and just getting him off balance a little bit. Once he did get into the clear, he sprinted very quickly, and there was never any troubles once he got into the clear.
How does this horse rate amongst horses that you have ridden, mate?
It's, as I say, I've been asked the question before, and it's very, very hard to say. I think this horse, as a 4-year-old, is going to be an exceptional horse. I think as a 4-year-old, he'll win anywhere in Australia. I really do think that he's not fully mature yet. When he does mature, he's going to be anything.
And like a good jockey, you'll go anywhere that he races?
Well, if it's up to Sir Ernest, but if he asks me to go and ride him, I definitely will.
You started the season off slowly, but you've bounced back at the right time of the year yourself.
Yes, that's right. Through injury, I've started the season very, very slowly, and through travelling over east. But since I've come back and had the operation on my knee and kicked back in, things are going all right now, yeah.
Enjoy the rest of the carnival, mate.
Thank you very much.
OK, correct weight has been sounded as the winner is about to be rugged in the mounting enclosure. The winner, number 2, Heroicity, about 90 cents on the WA tote. You'll find second, number 1, Old Roll, and third, number 3, Laudanum. John, let's check the time then for this afternoon's Derby, 2:29.04, which is 2 seconds outside the record.
Yes, it was a reasonably good, well-run race. I don't think the track affected the time at all, and the track was very good. I think that, you know, you can see...
Well, John, the win today, this afternoon, was a triumph too for the owner, Sir Ernest Lastia.
Well, he's bred the horse. He brought Chiror out here, and no one in Australia, I don't think, knows any more about horses than Sir Ernest. I'm sure he'll get an absolute great thrill out of this. And to breed and own a Derby winner, it's always been his ambition.
OK, John, so the winner of the 1991 Australian Derby, Heroicity. We'll take this break, come back with more on Derby Day in just a moment. Second past the post, but the winner on protest. Steward's tape showing the rider aboard Ace Queen, hitting Denise's Joy with his whip.
BMW is the largest automotive sponsor of thoroughbred horse racing in Australia. The BMW Australian Derby marks the 3rd anniversary of BMW's sponsorship of thoroughbred racing at metropolitan and provincial meetings around Australia. And what a great year it was. At Rose Hill on Golden Slipper Day, the $1 million Group 1 BMW attracted a select field of Australia's best weight for age performers.
Derby winner, and Dr. Grace leads most of the way to win the BMW.
In South Australia, the Morfordville 1200 metre specialist Beau George produced his customary late finishing burst to grab victory in the Group 3 BMW Spring Stakes.
Beau George on the outside, Beau George.
At Moody Valley on Cox Plate Day, the Group 3 BMW Vase attracted a class field of Derby contenders. Emerging as a star of the future was the Lee Freedman trained Naturalism.
A mile back, but Naturalism far too good by 4 lengths.
And today, BMW's commitment to the thoroughbred industry continues with the Group 1 BMW Australian Derby. BMW, the ultimate driving machine and thoroughbred horse racing. A great partnership.
And no question about that, a great partnership, BMW and Racing BMW, the sponsors of this afternoon's Australian Derby. The presentation taking place at the present time. Trevor Andrews receiving the Trainers' Trophy, and in the background a very proud Sir Ernest Lastia, who bred and raced this horse, and it's his finest moment in racing for Sir Ernest Lastia, a long-time chairman of the WA Turf Club. John, quickly, a word on the Derby.
Well, it was a great trio. Herosity, a really remarkable colt. Trevor Andrews, who trained him beautifully, and Mark Sessions rode him to perfection.
Right, thanks very much then, John. That's our program. The winner of the 1991 BMW Herosity now stamps himself a champion. Thanks for your company.